It knows what scares you. That's the wrong show. Anyway, welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. I'm Scotty. You're not. We are on season 4, episode 10. Scare. And in this episode, a big boom boom at Luther Corp causes the people of the Smallville to start witnessing their greatest fear and go into shock, basically. And it's the Luther Corp plant in Kansas, the one that Chloe's dad used to work at, whatever. Yeah. Yes, episode starts kind of weird with, so I forgot what the episode was next. So I'm watching this, and it's Clark is in the loft. Lana shows up and starts making out with him. They're going to town on each other, basically. They're making out. And then Jason shows up, all angry, like, hey, no. And I'm like, okay. First, I'm like, oh, so this is Clark's dream. And then Jason shows up, and I'm like, okay. And he beats the hell out of Clark, which made me think, okay, it's not Clark's dream. Because Clark wouldn't have himself. Is it Lana's dream? And then Lana stabs Jason. And he dies, revealing this is actually Jason's nightmare as he falls from the banister of the Talon, crashes on a table. And he's the first victim of this toxin that was at Luther Corp that they make clear was something that Lionel was working on and Lex was trying to figure out what it was. He even says he wanted to cut his losses after they figured out how to stop it. So Jason gets put in the hospital, and they so then because they need to have them, sneaking around. For some reason, Lana tells him to go get Jason's medical card or something. His medical card, which is in Lana's apartment. Okay. Why wouldn't it be on him? You're supposed to carry that stuff on you. You're supposed to. Medical card, insurance stuff. You're supposed to carry it on you. It's just the reason for them to go back sneaking in. And Chloe would probably suggest them to sneak around anyway. They really need the whole medical card thing. But in sneaking around, they find that he had a meeting with Luther Corp. So they break into Luther Corp using I think she has some kind of Luther Corp card. I'm assuming it was her dad's, but he got fired at the end of season 1 or during season 2. Unless he got I don't remember him get rehired. We don't see Robert Wisdom again, so I don't know. We saw a cameo from him at the beginning of the season. But while Clark is talking to Lex about this, Lex said, he's basically trying to tell the truth, sort of. He says there was an explosion and something got out, but it's been contained. Well, he didn't realize that the explosion went everywhere within the radius of Smallville, including Chloe's house. But Chloe is now infected, but I'm assuming, was she already infected, or did she get infected by going in? I don't know. And what she sees is that her mother is crazy. Because we find out later in the episode that she found her mother off screen, and she's in the nut house. And Allison Mack thinks she's going to end up going crazy. No, touchy that one. No, I think she's gonna end up going crazy because her mom did. And in this little dream sequence, it's just her, because it's supposed to be, she's afraid she's gonna go crazy too. Spoiler alert: when they eventually do introduce her mom, it's Linda Carter. Wonder Woman. Yes, and they retconned the real reason why she's in there. We'll just wait till we get to that episode, because that's, yeah. But Yeah, so she gets hit, and then Lana is infected, and she sees everyone dying around her because that's her greatest fear. It makes you succumb to your greatest fear. So Clark takes Lana to the hospital, and he's talking with Lex, trying to figure out what's going on, and then meteors start to hit the hospital. Yep, Clark's now infected, and he ends up using his powers in front of Lana, and she tries to kill him with the meteor rock, and then he comes out of it. The only one to come out of it. Yes, yes. Uh, and well, he goes to Lex. He's like, Clark, what happened? I left you at the hospital. And he's like, I got better. He found his parents are both unconscious. They were infected. It spread that far. And so the one point Lex does try to use a cure, but it doesn't work. No, it's got a whole bunch of cure, but it has to wait till it's like 300 Kelvin or something like that. At 3 million Kelvin or something like that. And so Clark uses his heat vision to heat it up, and they really don't ask questions to why it works. Lex uses it on himself. He sees what Cassandra saw in season 1 of him being president and everything, and I'm just, is that supposed to be he doesn't see what his worst fear? I don't know. No, but the cure is distributed and everyone is okie dokie. I'll say though, just kind of stretch this out a little bit. The there are two sequences that come off as really creepy. One is with Lana finding the people dead, Jason and her parents and Chloe. You hear Lana, very creepy. And then Chloe's little dream sequence thing where she's her dead mom, but it's not really their mom, it's her, that thing, And two very well done ones. And the meteor strike is well done. And then Norm with Jason at the beginning of the episode also was done. Made me guess whose dream it was. I forgot what episode this was. And I'm like, what is it? Oh, Clark must be having a good dream. And then Jason shows up. I'm like, huh? Then he can beat the crap out of Clark. I'm like, well, it's his dream. It wouldn't happen that way. Oh, it must be Lana's dream. And then it's Jason. Okay, throughout the episode, Lionel gets a visit from Samantha Ferris, who is his lawyer, who says that he's been exonerated for what he had done. Putting this whole Lionel behind bars thing, rendering it completely and totally unnecessary. Yes, he was in there for 10 episodes, 9.5, technically. He gets out at the end, but yeah, and he says, "No, I've changed, and I agree that I'm guilty, not of what." He's like, "I'm guilty, not of what they said I did to put me in here, but I've done a lot of bad things." And I'm just like, "No, you're guilt. You're the only reason that he says he's not guilty of what was put him in here is because it might incriminate him. I don't know if he's trying to penance, but yeah, Samantha Ferris was also going on to be on Supernatural in season 2, and a few other seasons, a couple of times. But yeah, he's his lawyer, and she's like, "This isn't the Ritz Carlton or whatever it was. As soon as the paperwork is done, you're out." And so he gets into a limo. We don't see who's in the limo, and he goes, "Of course, I should have known." And I'm like, "Okay, who is it?" I don't remember. It's either Margot Kidder or it's Jason's mom. I don't remember which. It's one of the two. Either one makes sense. Lean towards Jason's mom. They're old friends, I guess. But yeah, just to kind of wrap up this whole Lionel behind bars and prison thing. I mentioned before that once he's in prison, that should just be it. We don't really need Lionel anymore. Maybe occasional visits to get information. But it's clear they didn't have enough for him to do behind bars, so they had to get him out. only took you 10 episodes, and he's gone, he's out. So, yeah, that whole subplot with him getting thrown in prison is, we got wrap-ups with Clark talking to his parents about what happened, and then Clark talking to Chloe, and that's when she tells what happened with her mom. And okay, so I'm confused. Was this supposed to air later? Because spoiler alert, she finds out about Clark's powers, and after that, every episode after that, she tries to kind of coerce him into telling him the truth. A couple times during this episode, it feels like she's trying to, and I was like, was this meant to air after that episode? I'm gonna watch the Talkville episodes after this, so maybe they'll mention it. But I don't know. It feels like it's out of order when she keeps asking. Because at the end, she's talking about people's secrets, and she's kind of like, and I'm like, I don't know. It feels weird. And Jason leaves Lana for some reason. He won't tell her. He's just leaving. And this right here, I want you to mark it right here. This is where they changed Jason's character, because up till here, I bet you he had no connection to anything other than, he brought her to Countess Margaret Isabel Thoreau. But during most of the stuff that was going on, he was very surprised. He had no clue. That's going to change from this point on. From this point on, he's a bad guy. Because reasons. What am I? I'm not bobblehead. Yeah, this episode was better than the last one. I'll tell you that much. There's some pretty good sequences with the thing. Starting to realize that sometimes I don't have stuff for people to do. Like, Jonathan and Martha are relegated to just being there most episodes. Like, last episode, they weren't in the entire episode till the end. Here, it's like an afterthought. Like, oh, he has to find his parents. His parents have to be infected. He has to find them. It's just very, like, he went to the hospital. He's doing all this stuff. And when he wakes up from his little coma thing, he's like, Mom and Dad. Like, it's like they were writing this and went, oh, wait a minute. We got to put Jonathan and Martha in. They have to be infected too. He has to wonder about them. But it doesn't feel like it works with what the plot is doing, because he's there confronting Lex, then passes out from this. He has this vision and he wakes up. So his first thing he should do is to go find Lex and finish the conversation. But the writers have decided, wait a minute, there needs to be a scene where he's got to worry about his parents, which you would. But I'm surprised it takes those 3/4 of the episode through to think about that. You think after Lana was infected, and he sees all these people in the hospital, he'd go. Like, he'd go then, find them, bring them to the hospital, and then pass out. What it should have been was he brings Lana in, and then he talks to the doctor and says that it could be, who knows how many people are infected. And he's like, Mom and Dad. And goes back to them, finds them, brings them in, then confronts Lex. He goes unconscious, has his thing, then goes after Lex. Something like that. It feels like it wasn't, like I said, it was just smooshed in there. Like, oh, we have to have him find his parents. Like I said, it was better than the last one, I think. I enjoyed this a little bit more. The other one was basically just a Lex murder mystery, and she was right there because viewers, we're not as stupid. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this episode? Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.